Nothing on my computer will work. Such a shame. What is the difference between Japanese animation and American animated cartoons? Well, the Japanese ones are made in Japan, and the American ones are made in Canada. No. Korea. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. I don't know. What is the difference? Eyes. The size of the eyes. No. Swords. More swords in anime? Damn. That's a tough question. I'm going to think about that one. I get a virtual hug. Yay. Giant robots. Yeah, not a lot of giant robots. What Miyazaki film? Yes. I love Laputa, Castle in the Sky. I actually, back when Princess Mononoke had not come over yet, this was the late 90s, I was in New York working as an actor, going to grad school, and the Museum of Modern Art was having a Miyazaki retrospective. Before Princess Mononoke hit the theaters. And so I went, and the first one I saw was Porco Rosso, which was fantastic, lovely film, absolutely gorgeous. And then they had Laputa Castle in the Sky, and I saw the date on it. It was like 1986 when it was made. And I thought, well, it's pretty old, but, you know, the story will still be good. It's like, oh my God, the animation is amazing. So yeah, Laputa Castle in the Sky. All right. We have another one. Here's the next call. Corinne? I hope it's Corinne.
Yes.
Corinne Rogers?
Hi.
Excellent. Hello, Corinne. How are you?
Good. How are you, Crispin?
Oh, this is so exciting. I'm very good. I get this little window into everybody's room. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's your question, Corinne?
My question is, I'm a college student, and I recently got interested in voice acting, but I did not grow up in theater. I was involved in sports and other things and never had the time. So I was wondering, as a college student, what are some other opportunities I can take to get into voice acting and get more experience?
Well, the majority of people in voice acting have usually gotten into voice acting either through theater or through radio. Both are good avenues of doing things. Radio lets you get used to hearing the sound of your own voice and making sure that you're communicating well to people. And of course, acting is extremely important when you're voice acting for animation because they really want you to have good acting chops. So as a college student, obviously, hopefully your college has a college radio station, and it would be great to get on there as a DJ because just the experience of working with a mic and getting comfortable listening to your own voice will be a huge help with confidence, especially when you're in the booth. And hopefully there are some plays at college that you could audition for. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what your theater department there is like. Whether you can audition
It's
for the shows
huge.
if you're not a theater major, but yeah, but usually they need a lot of theater people. And even if like the theater department itself maybe is a little exclusive. Usually there's
Right.
there's sort of student-run organizations that do theater stuff. Any chance to get up, especially if there's improv groups. If you go to a large college and there's any groups that do any kind of improv, that's absolutely priceless for animation
At
work.
Otakon, you said that you want to go study different accents. So I was wondering, where do you go to study those accents?
That is a very good question. There is a man by the name of David Allen Stern who sells a whole bunch of CDs called Acting with an Accent, where he does each one of the different accents from different places. I have found that his stuff is very useful as a starting place because he gets he really focuses well on placement. If I were going to an Irish accent, I have to change the placement of my sound, put it in a different part of my voice. Because if I did it if I stayed the Irish sound, but I did it in a sort of normal Midwestern place, it wouldn't sound right. I have to make sure it's in the right part of my throat in order to sound right. And so David Allen Stern is very good at helping you find that so that when you're doing the accent, it stays true and sounds believable. But that's only my starting place. I start there, and then if you do a search on Google, there's something called the Speech Accent Archive, which is some school that goes around and records native speakers speak English in their accent, and will tell you whether they're male or female, how old they are, how long they've studied English, and that's a really good way to get a really solid sort of authentic accent from the place. And then I usually steal from movies. If there's an actor whose accent I really admired, I will record that movie and I'll just pull all that actor's lines and do them and sort of copy them that way. I think what did I do that? I did that for like The Last Samurai. I think I did Ken Watanabe. I like pulled all of his lines to work on my Japanese accent and things like that. But yeah, that's usually I usually start with David Allen Stern because he gives you sort of a good framework, and then I sort of fill in with either the Speech Accent Archive or any movies. Oh, and podcasts. This is the cool thing about podcasts now. Like when I was working on my Irish accent, you can just go to iTunes and go into the podcast and type in Ireland or Irish, and suddenly you can get podcasts from all different parts of Ireland, and so you can actually listen to native speakers as radio people. And so they're not putting on anything, that's just their voice. And so you can have hours of them talking and just copying their accent.
Wow. Thank you. That's such a comprehensive answer.
Oh, well, my pleasure. I do my best. And where are you, Maria, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, I'm in San Jose, California.
San Jose. Excellent. Well, thank you for calling from San Jose. All right, next. What do we got here? Oh, this one by 2 seconds. This, hopefully, is Lauren. Yes?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, I win! I win this time. Hello, Lauren.
If you were to voice act in The Yaoi Loveless as Sobi, what would you sound like?
I'd sound awfully sexy and sincere. Because he's my beloved, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, I would imagine.
That sounded really good.
I'm glad you appreciate it. We have more calls, so I'm going to get them. Let's get Nicole. Nicole Lauderdale. How you doing, Lauderdale?
Spelled my name wrong.
Who spelled your name wrong? I think you spelled your name wrong. I'm only ribbing Nicole because she's in my class. She's one of my students, so I'm just, giving her hell because it's fun. Hello there, Lauderdale. What you want to talk about? Welcome here on the Joe Bob Show. What you need? Yeah? What?
I've been wondering,
What?
where does your name come from?
Yeah.
Because every time I have to say
Where
it,
does
I
my
think
name come from?
Of Henry the Fish, St. Crispin's Day, woo! So,
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? It does not actually come from Henry V. Actually, I went to go see Kenneth Branagh's Henry V in the theaters and was not even aware of the St. Crispin's Day speech. And so the moment he started talking to his troops, I was ready to kill any Frenchman that came in my line of sight. But the name Crispin actually is Latin for curly-headed. It turns out that my dad looks like Eugene Levy and has very tight black curly hair, nice Jewish boy that he is. But my mom looks like Sybil Shepherd with perfectly straight my mom looks like Sybil Shepherd with perfectly straight blonde hair. So I sort of came out in the middle. When I was young, I had big, blonde, loopy curls. But then it got darker and it got a little straighter. And now that I'm going prematurely blonde, it gets a little straighter still with the bleaching and everything. But when it gets long, it does get sort of wavy and curly. And maybe I'll have to dig up some picture of me. I used to have hair like down to my shoulder, which was crazy. But maybe I'll have to dig up one of those pictures and put it up somewhere. But yeah, that's where Crispin is Latin for curly-headed, because they thought I would come out looking like my father. But all three of my parents' children have blue eyes and sort of lighter colored hair. So much for genetics. There you go.
yep.
Well, thank you for, coming out and talking to everyone like that. That's awesome.
You're welcome, Gabby. Thanks for getting on and trying this whole thing out. It's all a big experiment.
It's actually really great because I've never met you, because I can never, go out there to meet you, but at least I'm one step closer.
There you go. We can almost touch through the screen. Thanks so much for calling, Gabby.